advance have cured death.
We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. All right, mate. Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so, you're gonna have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry, it's not hard, and I'm gonna stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm gonna give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the four small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again. You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain... Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk. You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any three and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again.
Take on 4 old ladies from East Grinching. That's followed at 8 p.m. by award-winning documentary series The Shape of Now, which tonight...
Right, won't be long now till the signal starts coming through from the station. Stay on your toes. All the bigwigs are in tonight because of the election, so we better not make any mistakes.
Relax with multiple award-winning movie The Freedom...
When you get the signal, select screen 1 with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know seafood makes me go out in pustules.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist. Going 5, 4.
But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay,
Moving on
we're
up.
all good.
The election
Next
win
is going to be the
that
throw to the
Essex
news
said just
titles
pretty
on screen 2.
Hopeful or
There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hansleys wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic...
Right, button
That's
2
all coming up on
in
tonight.
3, 2,
National Nightly News.
1. Lovely, mate. Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes. Here it comes. Switch to screen 1. Lovely, mate.
But first, the votes are in and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide...
Listen, mate, we often get a bit of interference around this time of night, so keep your eye on the machine on the bottom right. You can move that white dot up and down, avoiding the interference using the yellow knob or your scroll wheel.
Of a severe lack of actual policies, and of being deliberately vague, and of being the opposition parties have all conceded to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly mandate.
Right, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
We'll be going live and later on HQ. We'll be going the co-leaders HQ.
In 3, 2, 1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody.
I need you to fill out the ads.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
Thought I'd ask him about the election.
Personally, I wouldn't try to confuse it with any big words.
Don't worry, ladies. Now you can have
I thought
me,
that was our little
Johnny
secret.
Ashley, right there. in the
Remember
middle.
anything I tell you?
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship.
Wicked, we made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long, 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programmes on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
Break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody.
With Johnny Hamsley.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to later we'll be hearing from shock election winners. Later we'll be hearing from but first
Get
off,
ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
is here with the star of both stage and screen. Megan.
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture
Thank you,
correspondent.
Jeremy.
And
Megan
today
Wolf,
I have a
culture
guest who
correspondent.
starred in
And today
everything
I
from
have a
Shakespeare
guest
Right,
to
go
the
to
shop
Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his name.
by none other than Lawrence
joined
Blundercatch.
today.
By
Thank
none
you
other
so
than
much for
Lawrence
coming on.
Blundercatch.
Thank you so much
I
for
do
coming on.
hope you believe me when I tell you. I do hope you believe me when I tell you. Is among
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours. May I say,
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
So you just finished filming Medicated.
The Medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Yes. Well,
Wow,
as
what was
I
that
said
like?
to Peter. Peter Jensen, the director.
Give us a look at Megan's reaction. Lovely. Now back to Thunder Twat.
Wonderful I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, "What a wild ride this has been! What a wild ride this has been!" Do you know what, Megan?
Wow, that is fantastic. And
Am I right in saying that the character you play in this
Am I right
movie
in
is
saying
quite
that
an
the
academic
character you
one?
play in this
Absolutely
Quite
right.
an academic
A scientist.
Was
Absolutely
that a
right.
challenge
A
at all?
scientist.
Was that a
exactly are you
challenge at
implying?
all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. But seriously, yes, departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was a true story. You'll remember that one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all. A love, of course, for freedom. A love, of course. I think it's grossed over $1 billion. But I think it's grossed over. Obviously, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of
If
you
I
to
remember
mention it.
correctly.
But I really am not in it for the awards. I really am not in it for the awards. Those 3 little statues do take quite a place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. With all the others,
If you're not
I'm
doing
sure.
it for the awards,
if you're not
what is
doing
it then
it
that
for
drives
the
you?
awards, what is it then that drives you?
That is a beautiful question, Megan. And not easy to answer. Megan. And not easy to like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And I will bleed. That's how it feels. Often, doesn't it? That's how it doesn't it? Bleeding, doesn't it? Giving, bleeding, suffering, giving for one's audience, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference. I suppose in the end, I do it. I do it for the people that I inspire. I do it for the people that I inspire. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change.
Most of all,
that
I think
can
I
bring
do it
about
for the
in
positive change that I can bring
And
about in the
today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Indeed. Historic is the word. Difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. Difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive, not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Medicated, which opens next week.
Right, they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lodz Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
Watch out for that interference, mate.
I don't understand it.
Doctor.
I don't understand it.
Oh, looks like Blunder Clatch is losing it in the studio. I'd love to hear what he's saying, but don't switch to it now. You can go to the archive when the broadcast's done. We keep everything.
I don't know that. You think I don't know that?
Nolans, we mustn't. Nolans, we mustn't.
Dr. Lance, you Miss Flanagan. Miss Flanagan. Did it for you, baby. Did it for you, baby.
Dr. Hemlock.
I'm gonna change the world.
Dr. Hemlock.
I'm gonna change the world. You won't listen to me.
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me,
Dr. Hemlock.
but I didn't listen. Told me.
Doctor.
I'm drowning, Lance, she said.
Need to see
Drowning,
this.
Lance. No, it's all too late.
To see this.
No, it's all too
Look
late.
at this. Look at this.
Got it.
The sterility. The sterility is falling. It's falling. This is the key.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
We have to ask ourselves if we should. If we should.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button, or the spacebar on your keyboard, for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you've got to do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now. As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder. Good. You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember, button lights up, count 1,
Only 85
2,
minutes from the coast,
and hold
and
it
with
down.
more than 2 areas of outstanding natural interest. Isn't it time your family...
Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your
And a
keyboard,
lawyer and a
1 to
TV
4.
personality running the country. Seriously?
We've had worse. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance Headquarters, where the two leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address. Shall
I start?
Go for it, Pat.
Shall I start? Okay.
Go for it, Pat.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for coming. Where do I start? What a day!
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly said we
They
couldn't.
used
They
every
certainly
dirty,
did.
low-down, lying,
Every
southern
dirty,
bastard
low-down,
trick they
lying,
had against us.
But you,
Trick they had against us. You saw right through their shit.
I'm sorry about the language there. I'm sorry about the
I've had a
language
couple
there.
of celebrations. Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebrations. Coarser than the ground is funny. Coarser than the ground.
Memorably put. Memorably put. But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that advance are not a political party. Advance are not a political party. When things are going well. That is what you have when the country is suffering. You don't need a party. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. A team that can change things. A team that can change. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. A better. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. For them the party's over. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty check pants on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Again, not inaccurate, but not before we came out here to address the nation, we used executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. To pass the Working with the Wealth Office, we have produced working with the tax office of every person in the country with wealth into the million.
You know this sort of, probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated community. Are not welcome in their gated community.
Tomorrow we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore. No more hiding wealth funds or creative accounting. Trust funds or creative accounting. Fairer. Unavoidable set of tax laws.
So all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. I've got nowhere to hide. We revoked your passport. We revoked your passport. You want to leave like you threatened before the election. That's fine. Before the election. That's fine. You're gonna pay first. You're gonna pay up.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals to properly fund health and education, to properly fund to raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions. We'd have to raise. You'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours. When we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute. So to you posh twats,
the people who pay your pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs, the people whose children you raise.
So they've got time to get even. So they've got time to get even.
Advance have this to say to you. Advance have this to say to you. We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards. It ends today. We will put the wealth of this country back. We will put the wealth of this country back in the hands of the people who created it. In the hands of the people who created it.
Today.
Yes. It ends today. It ends and tomorrow today. We'll start making it fair again. We'll start making it like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Well, then, interesting acceptance speech there. And our apologies for the fruity language. Leaked out for you in time. Hopefully we got that leaked out for you in time. Someone's going to be in trouble. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under advance. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful Jeremy Donaldson.
Right, looks like you've got it now. Thanks for all the help, mate. I've got to go. Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate. Good luck.
We're crazy now.
Boring politics then.
We got green sofas, red sofas, brown sofas, pink cushions. You've got a great sofa. We've got a great sofa.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
Not coming for a drink?
No, we've got a date.
A yellow.
Try not to get murdered.
Are unreal. You've got people coming over at Christmas. You've got Nan. She's going to leave a stain on the sofa.
I've left you a voicemail. I thought you'd end up here. Most people come into the archive archive room when they're done with the broadcast. That way you can see what you did and how it looked to the public. As you can see, there's 3 sections to the archive. Broadcasts, that's what you've put out. Rushes, which is all the stuff that was on all the screens. And adverts, which is any advert that you've chosen to show. So let's have a look at the broadcasts. Okay, on the left you can see all the broadcasts that you've done. You can also get to hear from the main menu if you don't actually want to do a broadcast, you just want to see some of your past work.
Well,
Select
in a few
any of
moments
those
we'll be
and
going
click
live
Load
to tonight's
Tape.
National
Why not
Nightly
watch
News.
what you just
But
did?
before that,
When
let's
you're
take a
done,
look at
hit
what's
back.
coming up later on tonight on Channel 1. At 7 o'clock, it's the semi-final of the quotation game, and it's a PM. Sit back and
Moving on up, the election win that experts said just couldn't happen. Hopeful or hostile? Controversy as global mega...
Right, click on rushes and let's have a look at those. Okay, these 4 screens, they're exactly the same as the 4 screens that feed you the studio signal when you're doing the actual news. Of course, the difference here is you can mute any screen you like or any combination of screens and you can have a listen to what was going on behind the scenes. Just select any segment, that's any bit between ad breaks over on the left, and hit play. When you're done checking out the backstage secrets, hit back.
These aren't my cards. Please tell me these aren't my cards.
No, they're the right ones, apparently.
But this gives me nothing, Jenny. They must see that.
I know. I think they think you won't have any...
Welcome to Crazy Neil's crazy pre-Christmas sofa and chair deals. It's a steal with Crazy Neil. We don't care if you...
Christ, it's noisy in here, Jesus. Right, hang on, let me just get out some flags, darling. Yeah, I'll take that one with me. Cheers. Right, that's better. Let's get set up and get on with it, so I can get back to my guests. First of all, let's get the power on. You need to get at least the bottom 4 plugs on. Right, let's load up the adverts. You might want to have a bit of a think about it. Your decisions have consequences, don't they? You can see they finally got the old headline system up and working again. The Navision mixer's already in headline mode because headlines always come at the start. It's really simple, mate. These 2 buttons at the bottom of the Vision mixer, you can see they now have A and B on them. And they're to help you pick image A on the left bottom screen here or image B on the right bottom screen here. It's really simple. This little clock here will count down the number of seconds you have to make your decision. Provided you make a decision in that time, you're fine. And you can change your mind as much as you want until the clock reaches 0. But if you don't make any decision, you'll be fired before you even get to make another choice. I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them, and that's going to affect their lives. So like with the adverts, choose carefully.
No, for my sister's kid.
Good luck, mate. If I get time, I'll call you back in the next break. Yeah, I'm coming, darling.
Get one of those. My friend Janet says theirs gets really hot.
Is this Janet who thinks dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon. 10 seconds, everybody.
Not the best source of consumer advice, then.
Don't blame me when it explodes. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first full week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be discussing what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical freethinker. With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guess if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's Fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington's appointment is a risk for the giant mega corporation. Sophia, as our regular viewers will be aware, has always been a wild child and has been romantically linked to several movie stars and sports personalities. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehugs. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash, intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborgen-Horgensford have today set off to explore Dante's Taint. The recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, but thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flood technology, the pair hope to successfully reach the imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series of successful expeditions for this unlikely pairing. In a joint statement about the dangers their team might face, the pair stated, "We will face the plentiful challenges together like we always have." Playing the field, rumours abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped leaving Bush, one of the capital's hottest clubs. The footballer was caught while out celebrating being named Sports Personality of the Year last week, as reported by this very programme. Johnny is seen here with socialite and performance artist Tiffany Moore, whose recent show, Snatched Inside My Snatch, has kept her firmly in the public eye. Could romance be on the cards for these two budding A-listers? And grievous bodily charm. With Advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective. With more and more people saying they're scared to walk the streets alone at night, could this be exactly the right time for Advance's new approach? All that and Megan Wolf with a group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. In the wake of the government's swift enactment of the Assets and Wealth Act, we're talking about Advance's first week in office and what the new future holds. Joining me are Katie Brightman, a leading economist, and Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, The Free Man's Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the government certainly haven't dragged their heels on delivering some of the legislation they promised, but what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Nothing, Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Advance have realised that the current economic system of unlimited, unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps in the grand plan.
Grand plan, Alan?
It's all in my book. Alan James is Right, Jeremy. We're to become the great herd, ignorant, sterile and short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on the way we are, we will destroy ourselves and this planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy on our poor broken backs. It's all in my book. Alan James is...
Shamelessly self-promoting? Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully. Advance are the most disruptive threat that the world powers have faced since the last Great War.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable.
Thank you, but that isn't
And
what
this will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're talking high-tech weapons that can level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, who will be laughing then?
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know full well that isn't going to happen in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, Advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent end to poverty.
Bollocks! What this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy, is that these are the same people. Maybe they've rebranded, but it's all a little circus act to keep us from seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk happily into eternal bondage. They're like psychic paedophiles.
But based on the facts, Katie, what are your predictions?
The Assets and Wealth Act is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our public services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts into scientific research and the arts.
Or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and opiarts. Like opiates, see?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue. It's all coming from the water, the chemicals. They're pumping it full of belief juice.
Don't get me wrong, I want to see these changes, but only if they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, that could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we've all been figuratively sodomized into submission.
No, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world. God knows we need some change, but we need to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future there. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating law and order before Meghan meets some beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National Nightly News.
1 minute back, minute back.
You know, I think they might do some good.
I hope so too,
How's it going actually? Fuck it, I don't care, I hate the fucking news. Oh, bloody hell, I love this tune though. Alright mate, see you later, bye!
Well, I don't know what she meant by that.
I'm just saying I'll do what I can, that's all.
Bullshit, you will. She's good. You know she is.
I've said I put a word in, that's all I can do.
10 seconds, everybody. Is little JD scared of the big bad culture reporter?
If that sticks,
Bring
I'll
in
destroy
5,
you.
4, 3.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law and order in our country. Advance have already tasked what they are calling a solutions team to move this serious social problem to the top of the list. Tonight, we go behind the headlines to meet the people who live with the criminal justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Well, as you can imagine, Jeremy, we are massively understaffed in this country. We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with demand, Jeremy. There just simply isn't enough being done at a systemic level to relieve the problem.
Greg?
We need more support from ministers. What are you doing? We need change at a structural level,
I'm
Jeremy.
leaving, Greg.
Not a good time, darling.
It never is it? I'll be at my mother's.
Just hang on. The problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's nationwide. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Judge.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our public
Sorry
servants.
to interrupt the news, Mr. Donaldson. Can I have a moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of a burdened legal sector there. Gregory Judge, thank you for joining us. Next, I'm joined by Police Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very different perspective on our nation's crime. Do you think there's a problem with the system, Bob?
I'm sure we all do, Jeremy. I'm sure we all long for a return to the days when you could safely walk the streets of your community at night, looking in through windows and generally enjoying your neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a knife. Or kosh.
So you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple question, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a citizen of this once great country. Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't have banned hanging.
And to what do you attribute this moral decay?
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly. It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly states that... Oh, bugger, hang on a moment. Jeremy, a bloody gimp's escaped. Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear? As I was saying, Jesus didn't like immigrants much, did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible for the moral decay?
Absolutely, Jeremy. Back in your box, Clive. Back in your box. Delia, I really could use a little help with this.
Oh, sorry, darling. I was spaying the badgers.
Yes, I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson. Clive, could you put him back in his box?
Oh, Clive, you know it's Wednesday. You go back in your gimp space.
And whose responsibility is it to make a change, Bob?
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility of the decent, good, white people
Darling,
of this...
where's the padlock?
Oh, hold on just a moment.
Oh, Clive, this simply won't do. Naughty boy.
Clive, I am not having this again.
Mummy, so get back in your gimp space. Naughty. Please, Clive.
As I was saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal, no one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home with an A-, does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of her pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
Thank you, Bob. Bob Peel there, really locking down the police's position on morality points. And finally tonight, hopefully uninterrupted, it's time to get to the heart of the matter. Tony Dawson has recently been released from prison after serving 3 years for aggravated assault, burglary and menacing a swan. He's agreed to talk to us today, which is also, I believe, his birthday. Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez. Call me Titwank Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwank Tony. Hey! Prison's a mixed bag. Structure's quite nice, but it's a constant battle against institutionalization, as you can imagine. And obviously, titwanks are quite hard to come by.
I'm picking up that you're not alone there, Tony.
Titwank, Tony. Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Okay, well, we're trying to let you get back to that party as soon as possible. First, let me ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Titwank, Tony! I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez. Yeah, I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. There's Big Chris,
Oi, oi.
Little Chris,
Oi,
and Vampire Chris.
This one's, yeah? Yeah.
1 sec, love. Titwank Tony's on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system, Jez. It's just not set up for it, you know? It's inherently unjust.
It's open.
So, do you feel tempted to... I'm sorry, who's this now?
You are joking. Chrissy Freebollocks has only got Mr. Fancy, oh.
Titwank.
Not now, fellas, I'm on the news.
It seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here.
Jesus.
Yes, we seem to be losing the signal here, Tony.
Fucking way, Las Bolitas!
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes, Tony? Tony, I mean, we're literally away for 2 seconds. How has this happened, Tony? Can you hear me? Well, we seem to have lost our train of thought there a little. Hopefully you, the viewer at home, have managed to glean a broader understanding of the serious and complex issues around law and order. After the break, Megan will be live with some plucky young thespians. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back, everybody. That went well.
Piss.
Mate, I ain't got long and I'm quite drunk. It's been a great night. In this next section, there's a bit of music. If you edit in time with the music, you can see the result on the Vision Mixer, and the public will love that. Don't worry if you don't, though. You won't get punished for it or nothing. Just try and stay in. So, one last tip. When the music starts, turn down the broadcast volume. Right, enjoy the music bit. God, I love music. God, I'm so pissed. I think I might go and throw up in a bit.
Look, it's all right, I've got this.
I'm sure he's on his way.
Come on, it's welcome back. How hard can it be?
This is on you. 10 seconds, everybody.
Welcome back, Megan.
We're going to open on Megan. Camera 2. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome's Black, I'm Megan Wolfe, and on tonight's Culture Spot, I'll be chatting with one of the first beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act, a team of inspiring young people from Scritchford Sixth Form College, who today received a grant from Advance to take their play, Hey, Friendship, on a tour of local secondary schools. Welcome to you all. Well, let's start with you two, Harriet and Charlotte Winstanley-Hamilton. Girls, you must be thrilled.
We are, Megan. We're overwhelmed, to be honest.
And I believe you two are sisters, is that right?
Yes, Charlotte's my oldest. I'm the older, more popular one. Only joking.
Harriet and Trey were really the ones who came up with the whole idea.
So, Harry and I were shooting the breeze in the cafeteria, and I said, hey, let's actually do something.
So I went to look for a drama teacher.
But she'd been laid off due to budget cuts. Fortunately, I directed a pantomime when I was at university, so I knew the ropes, as it were.
Right, yes, but you're the maths teacher, aren't you?
Yes, that's me, Jeff Algebra, maths teacher.
Maths is really important.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Maths is really important.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
As is theatre. It's one of the oldest art forms in history. Aristotle believed.
I just think that when we travel around all these problem schools and the poor kids see us, they say, hey, I really want to be like those attractive kids. And that's a very beautiful and powerful thing. We touch our audiences and they touch us right back.
I suppose with a surname like Algebra, there was really only one choice of career for me. My wife, Angela, and I, we often laugh about it.
Angela Algebra.
Yes.
We just want to bring a bit of song and joy into people's lives.
And teach people about the difficult issues. The issues in the play are what really matter.
And I think you're going to be showing us an extract from this play, aren't you?
Yeah. That's right. To put into context,
I play a young first year who's having some troubles at school.
Her character doesn't actually have a name, yeah, because in a way she's like all of us.
It's like a metaphor. Maybe she's you at home, or like maybe she's you, Megan.
Maths is really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Got it in, Coach. Yes, thanks, Steve.
Right, well, I'm going to have a little chat with your teacher while you run off and get ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it, that way. So, Jeff, when did you first hear about the grants?
2 days ago. A letter from Advance arrived at the school. Now, the headmaster thought it was all a prank, but his secretary retrieved it from his bin and brought it to me.
Wow, how did you react?
I also threw it in the bin. But then Harriet and Trey rescued it, and they rang the number at the bottom of the page, and next thing you know, we're on tour.
Wow. Well, I think we can all guess which way you'll be voting from now on.
Do you know what? It's funny because Angela and I don't usually vote. We're not very political. I'm a mathematician, of course, and she's a paraplegic mainly. But we did used to watch that Peter Clements DIY show back in the day, and so we thought, why not? Let's have a go with this whole democracy thing.
Okay.
And here we bally well are.
Good stuff.
Fucking brilliant!
So, let's have a look at a short section of Hey, Friendship.
Dear Diary, I'm not sure I can take another day at this school. Another day of tears. Tears. Another day of fears.
Fears.
But still I walk the corridors alone. Alone. Dreading what might be around every corner.
What's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner?
Oh, hi Gary.
Oh heavens no! It's Gary the Fist!
Gary the Fist!
Going somewhere, little first year?
Great! I've been looking for some poor victim to bully all morning. But will this make me feel better about my violent father? Violent father.
Excuse me, I'm late for maths. It's my favourite subject. And so important.
Maths is for losers. What? Maths is for losers.
My arm's stuck, Coach.
Just keep going for fuck's sake.
Right,
maths is for losers. Now, give me your lunch money.
Double lunch for me today, but why am I only truly happy when I'm eating?
Not today, Gary the Fist.
What do you mean not today? Who are you? Oh, my arm's free, Coach. Brilliant, keep going.
Right, who are you to stand up to me? I'm Gary the Fist, and you're just a sad little girl with two gay dads who's all alone.
That's where you're wrong, Gary the Fist. These are my two new friends. Vanessa is captain of the netball team.
Yeah.
And Blake owns a motorbike.
Yeah.
But I can't fight all three of you, and I don't have any friends of my own.
Take a look at me. Take a little look at my face. I could be you. She could be you. And you could be me.
Or you could be me.
Life can be cheeky if you work as a team.
It's my choice to be mean. So start now, make a different choice.
Hey, listen up, I won't take no crap. Who said middle class girls can't rap? I ain't afraid of your cruel lads. I'm a mother-loving rebel, but I still love maths.
Hey,
kids, I'm Gary the Fist. People think that folks like me probably shouldn't exist, but that's just prejudice, and I'd do better if you knew the way that I became Gary the Fist. I grew up on a council estate. The park was hip, but the flats weren't great. My dad used to come home drunk and late, and he'd hit my mum, and for dinner he had to wait. Where's my dinner, woman?
It's not ready.
Where's my dinner, woman?
Go.
Don't make me ask you again.
Hitting women is wrong.
I guess life's pretty hard on a council estate. 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 It's so damn hard on a council estate.
Life can be peachy keen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you work as a team.
Just work as a team.
It's your choice to be me.
It's my choice.
So stop now, make a different choice.
Listen to that inner voice.
Friendship!
Yes!
Well, thankfully that's all we have time for tonight on the National Nightly News. Join us tomorrow night for all the headlines from across the country. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're out.
Oh, that was
What the literal fuck was that?
I believe that was art.
I believe I've got a 14-inch cock, but it doesn't make it so.
I have a similar belief about an adequate paycheck.
Oh,
If you run out of things to dress up and you want your house to look Christmas time has hit it, then we've got the ornaments for you. You want something like vases or...
Hello, mate. I see they've got the store back. That's great. I love fucking shopping. Oh, sorry. Bit of a big night, to be honest. Anyway, over here, that's how much money you've got. You'll get more money the better the podcast you do. These tabs take you to the bits and pieces and sections of the store. You can fix stuff, you can upgrade stuff, or you can just buy really cool stuff to put around the studio. Right, mate, the final thing you gotta know, if you wanna buy something, you just click on it and go ka-ching. Nah, but there's no refunds. No refunds, so take care, make sensible decisions. Don't be like Dave.
I'm.
Our children are our future. Advance knows this, and we're here to help. The new Advance Go-Getters
This is Crazy Neil's Festive Yuletide Ornament Spectacular! So you've got the best Christmas tree that your money can buy, and you want to put on it some crazy-ass Christmas ornaments.
All that, and Megan Wolf with a group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act firsthand. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Seconds back, everybody. Can we get the guests in quickly, please?
We actually had to make the book indestructible because people tried to set it on fire too much. It's like
Thanks for
they were having
coming
these
on.
bonfires
Thanks
in
for
town
having me.
centres. But Alan James, no doubt you've read my stuff.
I try not to, if I'm honest.
Behave.
You're not the boss of
I
me.
literally am. 10 seconds, everybody. We're going in 5, 4, 3, 2.
evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show. Total pimp. My God, that weather looks nasty.
Oh, how's it going with Steve?
Why are all men such pricks?
That well.
Apparently he has a complicated relationship with his faith.
No.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talked to you.
You're probably just a really awful dick.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accidentally slip out?
Pricks. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
After 3 months of record-breaking approval ratings, could this be the daring first move of a silent resistance movement? And what would that mean as we go into the future?
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg-Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
While both options are still on the table, support seems to be growing for a daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft ever conceived by man, then who can?
LaBeouf avoided. As the last Mr. Snugglehugs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so blind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out to be a miracle, as only 7 children were horribly injured by the lethal toy. How much worse could it have been? Thankfully, we'll never know.
Julia Salisbury, who mobilised numerous government resources to recall the product immediately after the first blindings, said today that the new advance mark, which must be earned by all new products, will be a 100% ironclad guarantee of safety and quality.
Table for 2. Johnny Hamsleeves and Tiffany Lamour were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller coaster since they started dating late last year, and this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Could we be on the verge of the biggest celebrity wedding since professional wrestler Randy Grizzlenuts McFridge married his longtime tag team partner Tina Tiny Hands last year in a wrestling ring made entirely of cake?
Is one celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sports?
And radical ideas. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Remington's Fist CEO Sophia Remington today announced a surprising new project that already has the markets raising an eyebrow.
Known for taking risks and bold strategies, could the adventurous CEO be leading the business giant down a dark alley, or taking it to a new level of success?
We understand the Mobile Orientation Operational Borrowing Service will be a new international travel system based around the construction of a major tunnel through the centre of the Earth. Sophia Remington claims it will make travelling from one side of the world to the other the matter of an afternoon. Geologists are concerned about the implications of digging a hole through the planet, while flat earthers claim it should be quite easy.
With that exclusive Prime Ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon live at the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's
National Nightly News. But first tonight, while Advance is certainly proving popular with the majority of the country, who've seen their wealth and standards of living increase considerably, for some, the transition has not been as pleasant.
That's right, Megan. The formerly aristocratic members of our society have had to make major adjustments to come to terms with the new regime.
Robin Short is in suburbia investigating rumours that these previously privileged people may be planning some kind of protest. Robin?
Thanks, Megan. I'm here in Moderate Hatchings to talk to Wentworth and Penelope Somerset Bentley, who were relocated to the house you see behind me after Advance passed the Assets and Wealth Act on their first day in office. Tell me, how are you settling into your new lives?
Well, quite frankly, Robin, we're not settling in at all. Our neighbours are whitewatters.
It's simply untenable. I hope you'll forgive my language, but it's as steaming as a Wednesday hatch basket with too much spatting.
Steady now, Penelope. Sorry, Robin, my sister's under a lot of pressure. She had to dress herself this morning and she still hasn't quite recovered, Robin.
My goodness, that must have been quite a shock.
She really struggles with ribbons, Robin.
Well, at least you've been rehoused in a nice big house.
Big house? This grubby little gaddis spatch only has one staircase.
And the breakfast room and the dining room in the same bloody place. Imagine that, having all one's grub in one room. One room, Robin.
So what would you say to the people that feel that your family has had it far too easy for far too long, and that these redistributions are both fair and just?
I hardly think we've had it easy for fussle's sake. Only one of our swimming pools was even heated.
But realistically, what can you do?
Well, you've asked the right bloody question, Robin.
Thank you, Wentworth. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason.
I think our toilet butler was from Swinstead. Dear George. Oh, I wonder what happened to him. Daddy tried to shoot him in the buttocks and he ran off into the woods. No, that's probably my last happy memory, Robin.
Tragic, but what can you do?
We will rise and rebel.
Yes.
We wage war on our revolting rulers with righteous words and rebellious writings. Our best guess in our quest for redress is to divest our breasts and an undressed bear just protest.
Yes.
Oh, what's that?
Daddy! Daddy, it's
Daddy!
something!
Please don't do that. We can't show this on the news.
Rise up, buggers! Tilly ho! Tilly! Get the dog!
Tilly's our mummy. She's proper cracked off too.
Oh, well, at least you are showing some shame. You are showing some shame.
Free at last!
Somerset Bentley, glad to meet you. See, the protest has started already. Nice sharp work, boy.
Thanks, Daddy.
He gets that from me, you know.
And forgive me, what are you trying to achieve here?
We just want to be footing well heard, that's all.
Oh, language, Penelope. We are nude, not rude.
I'm sorry, Daddy.
We want the world to realise we won't roll over and run away. We will revolt. We will rise again.
Yes, we bloody well will. Stuff and pip pop.
Daddy, how could you?
Shut up and get your butt.
Well, Jeremy, Megan, as this embryonic protest movement takes one of the top legs, it's back here in the studio. I'm Robin Short, struggling surreptitiously in Moderate Hatchings.
Thanks, Robin. Well, that's certainly a story we want to be keeping an eye on, eh, Megan?
Speak for yourself there, Jeremy, but I've seen enough sharp work to last me a lifetime.
I'm sure you have. But can a naked protest movement ever really catch on? It doesn't seem like the way we do things in this country.
But as I'm sure you're aware, Jeremy, this country is becoming a very different place.
Yes, but seriously, who's going to run around naked in our weather?
Well, hopefully not you, Jeremy.
Yes, well, there wouldn't be enough canvas for the slogans.
When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. Oh, sorry, I'm busting. Oh.
She's funny.
Yes, I know.
Sporting legend. I've got
she
it all.
wants your job.
She's welcome to it.
2 cars.
Why is it raining on my desk?
Alex, Bozeman, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Bozeman out.
Pressure on the bladder. This can cause trouble starting to pee, and it can cause laundry-based trouble between you and your she-demon of an ex-wife. So what caused this big old prostate? In the bum. Well, sorry, Me and the doctors, we don't know. But I can tell you, as you get older, your body changes. And that's okay. If you're worried about your swollen bum sack, book an appointment for God's sake.
I think we should just keep it as it is.
Well, of course, I've got one hat, haven't I?
It's
What's that supposed to mean? I didn't write it, Jeremy.
That's all right, fine. Jenny, there's nothing wrong with your baby.
Oh, I just felt a drip again. Have they not fixed this?
You want to see us frying? It's good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities. Nice
to see they care.
You're absolutely right,
Nice to see
Jeremy.
they care.
But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation. Of the new game that's gripping the nation.
That's right, Megan. You join me live here for the final. That's right, Megan. You join me live here for the championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other. These two have been dancing around each other. First up, we have Eddie Striker. She's the more experienced of our team. We have Eddie Striker. She's the more experienced of our team. 7, a danger rating of K, and 12 month driving down. Striker's known for her signature move, the Orange Hamster, and facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 out, 14 finishes and a divorce pending. It's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the fingernail Harris. Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the fingernail Harris. The slapping ceremony is taking part. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. Still going on. Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. She won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brains. Perhaps the brawn and not the brains. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris. Harris, a striker. For shot number 3. All right. For shot number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throwing under her legs. She's gone to sort of throwing under her legs. Not bad if you ask me. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not going to be happy with that. Harris and round 1. We can only hope that round 2 counts a bit better. We can only hope that round 2 counts a bit better. After the arguing with the ref section, it's time to change it. Arguing with the ref section, it's time to change it. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course now they go back to the starting positions. As that makes sense. They go back to the starting positions. As that makes sense. Striker giving it large. Striker giving it large. Winter round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. We seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. Broadcast slogans across her breasts and arms. Trying to ignore all of that security, I'm sure. Trying to ignore all of that security, I'm sure. We broadcast any of that, as I said. We're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. We're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to... This is quite an women's bodies is quite an Right, great. Okay, so back into round 2 now. Right, Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Determined to close that massive gap. Eddie Striker. Eddie Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. Harris. And was that the fetid thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the heats. What a brilliant move. We haven't seen that since the heats. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound. That is, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastering display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. Absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. Tommy Harris. But he isn't late bloomer, of course, we've always said that. But he isn't late bloomer, it was a game of 2 halves. 4 rounds and 7 subjects. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington's Fist. Must be some music here to start the half-time show. Must be some music here to start the... Okay, another posh protest to loose in the court here. Okay, another posh protest to loose in the court here. Shield you for having to look directly at it. Is running around here with his genitals on display. Running around here with his genitals on display. And ruining what was shaping up to be quite a dance. And ruining what was shaping up. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris. Now he's thrusting himself in... And the bucket's been knocked over! And the bucket's been knocked over! I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. I cannot stand it. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Genitals flying around for all to see. Genitals flying around. Really see. Not Sunday morning television. Really not Sunday morning television. Out of there. Hopefully taken away, never to be seen again. Hopefully taken away, never to be seen again. And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. And I would like to call that on both sides of the bucket. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on. Because of science, we can't. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't. Not bad. Not bad. So that ball boy's giving me the eye all the day. So that ball boy's giving me the eye all the day. Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball, am I right, ladies? God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball, am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris. Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because of course if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. If it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to striker. Back to striker. And striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course Harris counted with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course we've seen that before. Look at her face. She's seen that before. Look at her mug. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame. Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. Here we go. Tommy Harris. Tommy Harris. That's all right. That's all right. Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact. Caution from the referee. Perhaps a little contact. Caution from the referee. Ellie Striker. A little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. You hate to see it, don't you? For God's sake. Okay, like, for God's sake. Okay, like, I don't know what it is about this. I mean, it's sort of breasts and genitals full to see. Breasts and genitals full to see. I mean, there's only so much to do. They're flying everywhere, aren't they? I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on. Trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult. Trying to carry on, but of course these protesters hoping to get some take off. Protesters carry on with the match. Hoping to get some take off. What's going on here? Yes, what's going on here? Yes, very good. Take them away. Yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters, absolute wasters. Bloody wasters, absolute wasters. I'll jog on! I'll jog on! It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who could believe it? Is a mime round. Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. Really good nice imaginary shot there from Harris. Really high level play here from two absolute juggernauts of the sport. The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. Interesting. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. Out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there. Quite late on. So from striker. She's in it to win it. On it. She's in it to win it. On it like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here having a bit of beef. And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today. And he's throwing it, and the banana was the ball! And he's throwing it, and the banana was the ball! Unfortunately, that is the end. What a perfection. There we go, Jeremy. That is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a play. We should follow the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official. In, please.
The winner, and the winner, first
annual of the Sports Board Championship. Sports Board Championship is everyone!
Okay, the record once again a win for everyone. As my 15th reigning Sports Board Championship, I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. I'm going to be celebrating another wonderful moment here. Here come the wonderful winners to collect their medals. And thanks again for watching Sports Board Championship. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. And all I always have to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio. Back to you in the studio.
Had an extraordinary fight.
Historic Sports Board Historic Sports Board
Yeah, I can rent a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you. I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julius Salisbury have a big announcement. Who apparently have a big announcement.
That's coming up after these messages. That's coming. Fucking microphone shot me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shot me. Where's that sound guy?
Scared of a long, painful decline in your final years, of being trapped
Everything okay?
in your own body
Oh,
as
the
it
mics are just
slowly
trying to kill us
wastes
now.
away,
You'll be
losing
fine.
your
You're
grip on
unshockable.
reality.
I'm
Well, it
immune to
doesn't
your
have to
cheap
be
black.
this way.
I'm wearing you down.
Now you
Boozman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that this storm is causing the odd power surge. Some of your controls might be a bit, dangerous. Now, I know you're tough and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast, but too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right decisions.
So sorry about all these buckets. We seem to have sprung a leak. Well, several, actually.
You're going to need a whole new lining up there. Triple silver, shouldn't wonder.
We'll look into it. That's good to see you again.
Miss Wolf, your star seems to be in the ascendant.
It's a great time to be alive.
Too bloody right, Peter Clement.
Megan Wolf.
That's a firm handshake you've got there.
She's tougher than she looks. Am I here?
Here, with Mr. Clement on your left.
Right you are, pet.
are carried out efficiently and compassionately.
Your seat.
All
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine. Have you had a little accident?
your house.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Nightly News Prime Ministers. Welcome to the National.
Just Julia and Peter.
We don't need much
Just
in
Julia
time,
and
as it
Peter.
doesn't seem very much in time, as it doesn't
We're
seem
delighted
very
to be here.
advanced.
We're delighted I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we springing up across the capital?
No, you definitely
Not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy. Unless you've got a fatal
But
paint
yes,
allergy.
it does seem there are still some people we haven't been able to help. There are still some people we haven't been able to help. People yet benefit from the many advantages of the new future. Many advantages of the new future.
As my old mum used to say, there are some persons who just don't know how to be.
We're working hard to reach these people. Find out what they're angry about and how we can help. Find out what they're angry about. The door to my government is always the door to my government is always. But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts projects. Which we no doubt will have fun. When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question about it. Let me ask you a question.
Usually how it works. It's not usually how it works. But
I mean, really scares you. I mean, really scares.
It's death. It's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being afraid of our deaths. It's part of being
Are you saying that advance have cured death?
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it
much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera? Which is me close-up camera? When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. My mum came to the hospital. From school, my granddad go to the hospital. He'd collapsed that morning, so we'd all to say our goodbyes. We'd all to say our goodbyes. I went in to see him. We were all frail. I went in to see him. We were pale, frail. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. Peter, he said to me, "It's the right time. It's the right. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people.
The last time you saw him.
Nope. 3 days later, we were back home. Nope. 3 days later, we were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had to be fed. So he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge. Right there. He wouldn't even wait till half time. He wouldn't even wait till half time. Oh, it was awful. It was awful for us, and this is the point. For us, and this it were awful for him. It were awful. I could see it was destroying me, man. Watching him slowly destroying me, man. Watching him slowly fade away. To turn off, beggar, breathing out equipment at night, but she breathing out equipment at night, but she couldn't. It were a crime. She would see. It were a crime. She didn't want to lose the children, and she didn't want to lose the children.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres. 300 new transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, everything for your financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government and paid for by even the poorest citizen. Even the poorest citizen. Dignity pass on with when they choose. And that choice is important. And that choice this is a service only for people who This is a service only for people who feel they run their course. For people who feel they run themselves or their families. Don't want to burden themselves or their families. Long, humiliating decline. Long, into an into an just given me electric mouth. Are you okay? Just given me electric shock. Are you okay? We're still on the air, Peter. Yes. Sorry, my apologies. Yes, sorry, my apologies.
That this new... Are you not worried the system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Might be open to...
Sorry, I've got a sack to get. Sorry, I've got a sack to get.
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Jesus, a Rochelle face, fucker! That one was massive! Right, no, that one was massive! No.
Sorry. That the older generation... might feel...
coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine, gourmet food and drinking fine gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of with a rusty twat!
Prime Minister, please watch your language. Prime Minister, please.
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. Everything they need to know.
Tell your viewers
You really do move at a breathless pace. You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be an officer.
We're only getting started. We're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Thank you both so much for being here.
Yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Dolantine. Have a peaceful night. If you can.
And we're out. Good job, everybody.
So they just...
It seems so.
I don't suppose there's any way this could be a good thing.
It's for my nephew, so we transitioned the moment I saw the leak.
alive. It's Jenny, the floor manager. Are you okay? Alex, you need to get it together. Look at the broadcast screen. Just look at it. That's all we've been putting out since you went down. You have to fix it, now. Look left, Alex, out the window. See? They're all over it, little bastards. You're going to need a full charge to clear that many off. Hold down the big button until it's fully charged. Then release it to zap the little fuckers. Excellent, Alex. We're broadcasting again. They must have built up while you were napping. Usually it only takes a tap on the button to clear one. Look, there's a lone one climbing now. Zap it off before it starts to mess up the signal again. Great. That seems to be the last of them. For now. Right. We're about a minute out. Get the adverts loaded up.
I've got to deal with my pet idiot. And Alex, keep your ears open. You'll hear them climbing up the tower. Don't let them build up.
Well, in a few moments, we'll be going live to the National Nightly News. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later on.
This has no credibility, Jenny.
On Channel 1 at 7 o'clock.
No professionalism.
What's wrong with this picture? And
It's not a mess. Everything is where it should be. It's ramshackle and characterful, and I expect you to know the difference.
That's followed at 8 p.m. by a
Of course Megan's place looked lovely, but I can't see it, can I?
Thanks, Jenny. How's lock-in with the boyfriend going?
Decided to take his chances on the wild streets, eh? Rather than endure another romantic comedy.
Electric Fever Dream, starring Lawrence Blunderclatch as Helen.
Jeremy, Jenny says your hair looks stupid.
Yes, I can hear her.
As she says she's not talking to you.
Yes, I know, I can hear her.
Shall I count us in?
Make it so.
Okay, 10 seconds. Break a leg, everyone.
Preferably a furry one.
It's the National Weather Report.
5, 4, 3.
It's time to join Jeremy Donaldson.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Snugglefuck? It's been almost 5 weeks since all the Mrs. Snugglehugs toys woke up simultaneously in factories worldwide and began searching for their husbands. The Mr. Snugglehugs were so short-sightedly destroyed. And now, as this photograph suggests, they may be changing tactics.
Built to surprisingly traditional gender stereotypes, the Mrs. Snugglehugs have been arming themselves with a variety of household implements. All the more reason to make sure that cat flap is taped up good and tight.
This frightening new development means that even those previously thought to be relatively safe, like the young and fit, must take care to watch their backs and keep their ears open for the soft steps of sinister feet.
Going stir crazy, with no signs of Mrs. Snugglehug's batteries running out, and the government lockdown now in its 31st day, domestic relationships across the country are taking some unexpected turns.
Dramatic reports are beginning to emerge of uncharacteristically bold behaviour in homes across the country. And we're not talking about the model planes that occupy so much time in the Donaldson household.
With dating options limited, many house sharers, in particular students, are finding solace in co-tenants they'd previously rejected as unfuckable, indulging in an activity that has become known as snuggle-thugging.
Going it alone, popular crustacean Johnny Hamsleeves is back in the news today as his astonishing photograph that he leaked himself shows exactly how he's been spending his lockdown.
It seems that when the lockdown was announced, Johnny's long-term partner, Tiffany Lamour, was busy in the capital preparing her new show, Chocolate Clit Bombs, for its now postponed grand opening. Let's hope the exhibits don't melt.
It's great to see a celebrity using their time wisely, as the government suggests, by developing a new hobby or fetish, and most importantly, by keeping your spirits up. Nice to see Johnny doing his little bit.
The shape of things to come? In their own version of a lockdown for more than 45 years now, the descendants of Doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborgen Horgensvoord and their unfortunate team today managed to get a personal statement to the surface using flagellized imaging equipment.
Many of the Svorsborgen Horgensbrood, as they've come to be known, have certainly captured the public imagination, with a recent vote naming Helvetica Svorsborgen Wongensvoord the most likely to survive a massive electric shock.
Greetings, Upsiders. This is Times Svorsborgen Wongensvoord reporting from Dante's Taint on our 3,756th day in this miserable fucking cave. Every day it's the same. Oh, is that something new on the wall? Of course it never fucking is. And Mum and Dad talking about science all the fucking time. Who cares about science? I'm young. I want to do young people things like vandalism and teenage pregnancy. But every eligible partner in this undersea toilet was grown from the same bumblebee as I was, so that's a right turn off for stars. Why haven't you come to save us yet? We're practically human, like... Shit, Dad's coming.
It's hard to believe they've been down there so long now.
But everyone knows time moves differently underwater, Jeremy. That's why baths take so long.
That's right. And if anyone will tell you, the deeper the bath,
the quicker the relativistic forces of temporal causality will have a measurable effect upon the fixed dimensional parameters of your environment.
Yes, I've said that many times.
Papers, please. With the lockdown becoming ever more rigorously enforced, having a partner is becoming increasingly important, Alex.
The government caused controversy today by announcing a fresh charge of passport fraud with an imaginative form of punishment for those found guilty of this brand new but incredibly serious crime.
The international community have been critical of Advance's decision to begin branding those found to be abetting passport fraudsters. The red hot metal may seem painful, but I'm told it's actually preferable to most music currently in the charts.
Advance speaks out. With the snuggle struggle proving a test to governments around the world, Advance HQ released a curious statement this afternoon.
In the accompanying release, they asked us to stress that they have been listening and that this should be taken as a response to how the people really feel.
We've certainly done our bit on this show to contribute to the political climate. But let's not forget, how we behave in our home lives is what really matters.
Let's hope it's not just me who filled out that questionnaire, Jeremy, or we're all in trouble.
Let's play that statement.
Good evening. In these difficult times, it's important that we all feel united, that we're all in this together. And for a short time, we must bear significant change. To help this transitory times, I've written a list of things that are just as temporary as all of this discomfort. I thought it would be helpful to share my list with all of you. Christmas with the in-laws. Your child's school play. Youth. Beauty. That phase you still don't talk about. Your New Year's resolution. Your husband's hairline. Your waistline. Your term in office. Your fleeting lifetime. And all of human endeavour. I hope my relatable list has allowed you to find reassurance, to know that just as these things pass us by, so too will this crisis. Together we will endure, as we always have. Thank you.
Ridiculous stuff.
Later tonight, Jeremy will be probing heartthrob reporter Patrick Bannon, while I take a deep dive into some controversial opinions,
And then, in our third segment, and presumably because our editor is also working from home, there's going to be a bloody quiz.
I can't wait.
Don't do that.
And in a moment, Jeremy Grumpelson and I will be asking controversial CEO Sophia Remington where it all went wrong.
And psychic scientist Dr. Delia Lywell will be joining us, presumably to provide a bit of falsehood.
Maybe she'll tell you how you're going to die, Jeremy.
Too late. I'm certain it happened months ago.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News. Tonight, how do we get here? Where are we going? And most importantly, who's to blame?
Joining us from her villa on the island of San Palmerino is CEO and socialite Sophia Remington.
Thank you for having me, Megan. I am loving your hairdo, babe.
And from her crystal heating laboratory in what I assume is a garage in Lower Uppington, Doctor, it says here, Delia Lywell.
Thank you for inviting us on your show.
Us?
Don't. Miss Remington, your toys are rampaging across the developed world, your company is worth less than my annual salary, and your country's president recently called you a national disgrace. Have you taken your eye off the ball?
Oh, honey, you're so cute when you're angry. The thing with you folks over there is you have an island mentality. You can't see the bigger picture.
So, what is the bigger picture?
The bigger picture is lithium batteries. Our toys have been running for upwards of 71 days now with no signs of them slowing down whatsoever. Imagine what that means for the future.
It means we don't know when the hell this lockdown's going to end, doesn't it? You don't seriously believe Remington's fist can survive this?
Lithium batteries are gonna change everything, tiny ogre. They're gonna power our new transport system, make technology portable. Hell, this might even take us into space.
How can you make them with everyone at home?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Thanks to the work of thousands of tiny hands, they're already pouring off the production line. Times are good for Remington's Fist.
But surely you have no future.
Excuse me, hello, yes, if we might. This is our area of expertise.
What, multinational economics?
The future, Mr. Donaldson, to which we are all connected.
Yeah, okay, I'll buy it. Why not? There's clearly nothing better to do. So, what does your scientific process tell you about the future of Sophia Remington, Doctor?
We see her on a balcony, foreign soil, about foreign land. An age will pass.
Fascinating.
Wasn't it just?
Delia, you are amazing. We have to fly you out here to the island to do that for my guests. They're gonna love you.
Unfortunately, all flights are grounded because of your tiny, deadly stowaways.
Not all flights, honey. Dee, call me. And you, Maggie. The more the merrier. Bring your swimwear.
Miss Remington, you seem completely ignorant to the seriousness of the situation. Do you take any responsibility at all for the global crisis?
Careful! It's a trap.
It's not a trap.
It's a trap.
Why are you helping her?
It's fun.
You bet your ass I'm fun.
Please answer my question, Miss Remington.
Are lithium batteries the most incredible invention the world has ever seen? Probably yes. But in fact, who am I kidding? It is definitely yes. But will they last forever? One day, all the Mrs. Snugglehugs will just stop. It'll be like a miracle. And then we can all go back to the grand tradition of buying products again. Because I really don't mind telling you this. It is really hitting our bottom line. Except for sponges. We seem to be selling an ass load of them.
Dr. Lywell, do you have an indication of when or how this might end?
Well, it's not an exact science.
Not even a real one.
But our senses tell us that there will come a day when there will be clouds in the sky, the grass will be rich and verdant, and the birds will sing at dawn, and that shall be the day when we walk forth again.
I find that strangely comforting.
That could literally be any day.
Let's hope it's soon.
Clouds, grass, and birds. That's literally every day.
Let's hope it's not too soon. I'm kind of hoping we can make it to the 100 days. It sounds good on a commercial. Besides, if it lifts now, the children will have to go back to working normal hours.
Well, let us ask the eminent professors for 100 then.
No, let's not, eh?
I'll drink to that. Stay strong and party on.
Sophia Remington, Dr. Delia Lywell, thank you for joining us.
When we come back, we'll be reaching out around the country to see what's really happening out there.
Don't go away. We'll be back after these sandwiches.
Oh, she's a Hindenburg-sized fuck-up.
I mean, she's fun at a social level.
I wouldn't want to be on her ball.
Christ, no. She's going to drive that company into the fucking ground.
Wit and wisdom, and I'm reaching out through the lens of this camera to say, buddy, if you're listening, build a better life for yourself. You want crazy?
Hello, mate. It's Dave. You're not going to believe this, but I've decided to come home. Listen, I'll call you back at the next break, and we can talk about how I get me job back. Cheers, Alex. See you, mate.
And that wasn't popular. I used to have a ventriloquist act. I cheated, rather, because I trained a dog to talk. You can get down on all fours and yap like a dog for only $22.99.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time coming.
No,
exactly, you said it, I've said it. He must know, he's not stupid. I just don't want it getting back to him that it came from us. Hey, no, Jenny. You're not backing out on me now. We're in this together. Okay then. I've made the cake, you're on the balloons. I've got no idea how old he is. 40? 17? Yeah, ready. Okay, coming back. In 5, 4, 3... Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Ruth. Now it's time to take a trip around the country to hear how the lockdown might impact the nation from some friendly faces. Joining me are respected academic Katie Brightman and author of Alan James's Kites, Alan James. Thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Megan.
Thanks, Megan. It really is a pleasure, Katie. I enjoyed our little heated encounter.
I wish I could say the same.
So first off, Katie, how are you coping?
I'm holding up okay. The lockdown directive was so sudden that, like many people, I haven't been able to get home.
Oh no, what happened?
I was staying at a hotel after an international policy seminar, and we had a particularly heavy night out. You know what economists are like.
Notoriously hate splitting the bill.
And I overslept, and as you can imagine, I've been here ever since. But there are certainly people much worse off than me.
Exactly. My tour has been cancelled indefinitely, and I've had to refund every single ticket, even the cheap seats.
Oh, Alan, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, people are being quite rude about it. They don't seem to realise we've already spent it,
The crisis claims yet another victim.
So, this is just a reminder that my book, Alan James is Right, is now available in paperback.
Unbelievable.
What was that?
You're unbelievable.
So, Katie, how do you think this might affect the economy? Should we be worried?
Very, Megan. Not to sound dramatic, but this could be catastrophic. Unemployment has skyrocketed, and frankly, it will be a miracle if a lot of businesses can survive this.
There you go, scaremongering again, spreading this latest liberal hoax. That's what they want. They want us quiet. They want us compliant. And they want us inside.
A hoax? You say that, Alan?
Well, I haven't actually seen one of these supposed toys. Have you?
Well, no, but...
Did you know 3,000 people die every year from regular toys? That's a lot of people. And this is no different. You're just as likely to be hunted down by a yo-yo or a tennis racket.
He makes an excellent and persuasive point, Katie.
Don't listen to her, Katie. The press are the enemy of truth.
She's agreeing with you, Alan, you absolute shit.
Well, then I must be wrong.
Alan, are you now recanting your statement that these toys aren't dangerous?
People are saying they're just like normal toys, and that simply isn't true. Corrupt media lies.
And Katie, how do you respond to Alan's claims that Mrs. Snugglehugs might be dangerous after all?
I suppose I guess I'm agreeing with him.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate your support. A lot of folks are saying this Mrs. Snugglehug situation will all blow over, but it won't.
Yes, right, exactly. We need decisive action from the government. We need huge financial support to protect our workers and our businesses. We need to support the vulnerable, and we need
to repent. Exactly right, Katie. We brought it on ourselves with all our liberal indulgences like art, cake, and health. We need to act now and begin sacrificing our firstborn, or to push a beloved family pet.
Absolutely, Alan. If we can all successfully come together as a community and perform the ritual, hopefully we will appease the great ancient. Katie, could it be any worse?
Luckily, over the past few years under Advance, they've invested heavily into health, so the system can actually bear the strain.
Is it lucky that the Llama Lords have unleashed a horde of man-made monsters on its own people to conceal the enemy within?
Will you just stop for 5 fucking seconds?
The global alliance of fish people are amassing an army. Amassing an army to kidnap
That's you. That's what you sound like. That's you. That's what you sound like.
But
I
don't sound like that.
Yes, you do.
You do, Alan. You do sound like that.
And that's why no one wants to be your friend. And that's why no one...
I've got loads of friends.
No, you haven't.
I don't think you do, Alan.
Yeah, stop lying, Alan.
Yes, not lying. You are.
Oh, good one.
Not lying. You are.
Oh, good one.
Well, I'm telling.
Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. Some real food for thought there from two of the territory's leading minds. Any moment now, I'll be heading over to Jeremy, who is going to be bringing us an up-to-the-minute report of the status of the nation. Over to you, Jeremy.
Thank you for what I'm sure was a reasonable debate which really contributed to the national conversation. Next, out on the streets, someone who's always doing exactly that. It's Patrick Brennan! Are you there, Patrick?
Hello, Jeremy. Yes, hello, I'm here. I'm here live. Apologies for the quality of the broadcast today. Couldn't find any cameramen or women brave enough to come and join me, so I'm out here on my own.
Right, and can you tell us what it's like out there?
Yep, I can. It's as you can see behind me, the streets are currently completely deserted. From my question, Jeremy, just how long? I mean, could there be danger lurking just around the corner, waiting to end the fledgling career of this young, promising journalist before his full potential is even realised? Will he die? Underappreciated by management, and frankly, if you ask me, very, very much underpaid.
I don't think there's any danger of that, Patrick. What's that on your jacket there?
That's actually a sponge. What I've done here is made a snuggle-proof jacket, Jeremy. The network didn't bother sending me any PPE, so I've been forced to improvise. In fact, showing the sort of resourcefulness that would make me an ideal candidate for, I don't know, for example, an anchor position starting whenever they'd like.
From your point of view, Patrick, just how safe are our streets?
Not safe at all, Jeremy, not safe at all. I'd recommend people staying inside, following government advice and not putting themselves at any risk at all. Unless, of course, like me, it's for groundbreaking journalism reasons.
And just where are you, Patrick?
I'm on the street.
Which street?
Which street? I think I'm struggling to hear you, actually, Jeremy, there.
Which street? Which street are you on?
Which street am I on? Oh, God. I'm just looking for a sign. There it is. I'm on Bannon Avenue.
Bannon Avenue? Avenue? Yep. Bannon Avenue.
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. Yep, I'm on Bannon Avenue on the sign, it says there.
Like Patrick Bannon?
Oh, yeah, that is like, that's strange, that's a weird sign. I don't know what's going on there.
Where are you really?
I'm on Bannon. Alright, fine, I'm on Bannon Avenue, I'm at home, to be honest. Alright, fine. Well, I'm in my bathroom, technically, but, you know, I couldn't face it, to be honest, mate. It's, you know, it's terrible out there. I don't want to go outside. They're everywhere. I'm sorry for lying.
We don't expect any less of you, Patrick. You
hear that sound?
I can, yes. I'm no expert, Patrick, but it sounds unmistakably like a tiny fist tapping on your door there.
Oh, fuck, Jeremy, shit, no! Oh, bollocks, Jeremy.
Perhaps there's a small queue of tiny fists, each wielding a different gendered household implement, ready to bash in the heads of lying little roving reporters.
You're lying, aren't you? Oh, shit, fucking, listen to me, you bastards! If you're out there, just piss off, you little fucking snuggle fuck! I'm too talented to die! Okay, it's fine. Oh, God.
Don't worry, Patrick. I'd say you've got a few seconds before they break their way in there and finish you off. What do you see, Patrick?
Only Satan. God, no. Come into all this.
Thank you, Patrick, for that report, showing the nation, and more importantly, management, just where you belong. It's time for another break, but when we come back, we'll be hoping to take your mind off the wall for a little while, and who knows, maybe even bring you a few smiles. Join us after this. You're damn right. Yeah, I had them delivered. Yes, to Bannon Avenue.
This is a Channel 1 informational video that is for internal use
only. Dave here. I've run into a few problems getting back. Although not as bad as yours. Looks like you've got one loose in the studio. Whack it on the head if it gives you any trouble. It's pretty bad here too, mate. They've got on board. Captain's down. Worse, chef's down and we're out of rum. I'm sure I'm going to make it to sobriety or dry land. If I had a missus, I'd ask you to tell her that I love her, but to be honest, I've kind of pissed my life away, mate. Still, at least I'm outdoors, eh?
Crisis. Stay calm, for God's sake. Panicking makes you less productive, and that makes Bozeman sad. Protect network equipment at all costs. We have literally hundreds of employees, but our budget is limited. We ask you to do the right thing and value our property over your personal safety. If you're working from home, please refrain from taking meetings on the toilet. Even if you're not going, we can still tell from the way your voice is all echoing. A reminder, the dress code is still in force. I can hear a tie on a conference call like a baby in a vacuum cleaner. And
No,
finally,
I'm not.
remember, the public are scared. They want information. They'll consume anything we tell them. So let's not waste time on fact-checking or integrity.
I'm not.
There's money
I'm
to be
not,
made
I'm not,
if
I'm not,
Papa
I'm
wants
not.
a taste. Postman out.
No, well, 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to the National Nightly. Welcome back to the National Nightly. Well, we know isolation isn't easy, so finally tonight we have something a bit different tonight. Even though some people vote it's not our job to entertain the public with absolute nonsense, other more important people overrule those people. So it's time to find out who will National Nightly win, and who will National Nightly lose. So, how do we play? Well, joining me is a man who knows all about playing. It's Tommy Harris. Hello, Tommy.
All right,
Hello,
Johnny.
Tommy.
It's good to see you, Johnny.
And how are you finding the lockdown, Tommy?
What do you mean
lockdown, Tommy?
What do you
The
mean
enforced
lockdown?
isolation of everyone in the country.
Yeah, I think I heard
You're
about
in
that.
bed, Tommy.
Yeah, you
You're
called during
in
that
bed,
time,
Tommy.
so... Yeah,
Of course,
during
that's
that
my
time,
fault.
so-
So, why don't you tell us how the game is played? Why don't you tell us
pretty
how the
simple,
game is
Jeremy.
played?
Sausage. I'm going to ask contestants from around the territory 3 questions about what else. 3 questions about what else. And those people are going to get a chance to win a very special prize.
And what are they playing for, Tommy? And what
Drum
are
roll,
they playing
please.
for, Tommy?
Drum roll, please. Jeremy.
Oh.
Jeremy. Thank you. Thank you. This.
Is that? What is that?
It's my athletic support,
What is
Jeremy.
that?
It's my athletic support. But I've signed it. So.
Oh, well then,
signed it.
what a fantastic
So-
prize. Well then,
Have we
what
got
a
anybody
fantastic
waiting
prize.
to win this once in a lifetime prize, Jeremy?
I believe we have Angie on the line. How do you feel about winning his man's old pants, Angie? How do you feel about winning his man's
I've
old
never been
pants,
so
Angie?
excited, Jeremy. I've never been so excited, Jeremy. I love you. And can I just say, both of you, I love you.
Well, you've said it now, haven't you?
Well,
Angie, you've said it now, haven't you?
In a way. Tell us about yourself, Angie. Tell us about yourself,
What can I
Angie.
say? My name is Angie. Always has been. I'm a human woman. And my dental hygiene has been described as acceptable.
Brilliant! Right, well, shall we get these shambles on the way? Shall we get these
Can I
shambles on
get
the
30
way?
seconds on the clock, please? Can I get 30 seconds on the
We
clock,
haven't
please?
got a clock.
Yeah, I did ask for a
We
clock.
haven't got a clock.
So I did ask for a clock.
Why don't you start? And I'll stop you when it inevitably becomes unbearable to watch.
I love it. All right. Here we go. I love
Time
it. All right.
starts.
Here we
No,
go.
no, no, no,
Time
now.
starts. Question
No, no,
1.
no, 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 now.
When is
Question
my
one.
birthday?
When
is my
The
birthday?
13th of August at 7:19 a.m.
That is absolutely correct. That is question 2. Correct. What? I said what is my favourite colour? Is my favourite
Crushed praline
colour?
4. Crushed praline 4.
Correct. The colour of my nipples. And finally, Angie dear, what is my star sign? What is my
That's a trick
star
question.
sign?
You were born outside of the human understanding of the cosmos.
Unbelievable. That is correct. Unbelievable. Stop the clock. That is correct.
Wow, that really
Stop
was
the
tough
clock.
to watch. How did you do, Tommy?
Well,
How did you
Angie,
do,
my love,
Tommy?
you've got every single question, every single question, which of course means you lose and win absolutely nothing. Thanks for playing, Angie. Bye. Thanks for playing. We have another contestant on the line. We have another contestant on the line.
We do indeed. We should have Sonia Hartleach. We should have Sonia. Are you there, Sonia?
Of course
Are you there, Sonia?
Thank you for being here, Sonia. Thank you for being here, Sonia.
Tommy!
Let me guess, you work in theatre, don't you? Let me guess,
Is it
you
that
work in
obvious?
theatre, don't you?
What gave it away? Was it the glamour or was it the glamour?
It certainly wasn't your inherent sense of humility. It wasn't your inherent sense of humility.
Tell us about yourself, Sonia. Tell us about
Oh, well, if you must play this game, I am a theatrical agent. I represent the likes of Rudy Beefman, Samuel Coffee Cup, and Jodie Carpetburn, amongst others.
And how's the lockdown affected you, Sonia? How's the
Well,
lockdown
they
affected
may
you, Sonia?
have closed the theatres, shut the studios, and boarded the cinemas, but they won't get me that easily.
How are you managing without any work?
Due to a savvy clause in all of my artist contracts, I am able to claim my 15% from their unemployment benefit.
Wow, that certainly is. Wow, sharp. That certainly
Standard
is.
Standard
sharp.
stuff.
And can I ask, where are you speaking to us from?
Well, I work from home, you know, to keep costs down.
And who's this? And who's this?
You know, when they gave the order, I was actually mid-meeting with a client, so we've been isolated together.
No fucking no way!
What the fucking fuck?
Is that Tommy Harris? I'm a huge fan. Can I just tell you how bloody brilliant you are?
Actually, Jeff, we're about to play a game, aren't we, Tommy? Jeff, we're about to play a game, aren't we, Tommy?
If it's not too bold, I think I am in love with you, Mr. Harris.
No, it's not too bold. That's right. No, it's not too bold.
I'd love to show you some of my stuff. I've been working on some new shit.
Well, at least you're already aware. Well, at least you're already aware.
We've been workshopping some of Jeff's ideas for much younger children,
People still let you near their children, do they?
Yeah, that's
People still
right.
let you near
Yeah,
their children, do they?
I've been developing some shows for younger children.
We'd love to see it, wouldn't we, Gerbil? We'd love to see it, wouldn't we,
Absolutely
Gerbil?
dying to. Absolutely
Right,
dying
so,
to.
what do kids love? What do kids
Timely child support payments from their absent fathers.
Shallow and overproduced musical numbers.
That's
Shallow
right.
and overproduced musical
Animals!
numbers.
So, I'm trying to address the things that kids need to know, but through a medium that they'll understand. Do you understand?
I think
you understand?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Jeff's one of my best clients, aren't you?
I am.
One of my best clients, aren't
So,
you?
the first one we've been working on is called The King of the Jungle's Mortgage Repayment. It's about a lion who's having problems with his interest rates.
I see. Does he have a broker?
He does, yes.
Does he have
He's
a
a
broker?
porcupine. He does, yes. How did you know that?
Well, your work is universal, darling. It speaks to people.
I'm going to say something to you, mate. I'm going to say something to you, mate.
The bear,
Oh, yes, wait. This one is much better. So, this one tells the tale of Mr. Bear. Now, Mr. Bear is a very sad bear because all of the other bears don't think that it'll amount to much, and they tell him that his plays are lazy and derivative.
I think you're onto something, man.
Now, Mr.
I
Bear
think you're onto
is a
something, man.
tragic figure. Picture this. He's at his lowest ebb. The trees are closing in. He can't even face his salmon, can he? But then he meets someone that will change his life forever.
This is fucking gripping.
That's right. He meets a wise octopus who takes him under his wing and says, "No, Mr. Bear, don't be sad. You're not like all the other bears. You have this ambition and these dreams."
Such fucking dreams.
I think I love you, Jeff. I think I love you,
What
Jeff.
you need to do, Mr. Bear, says the octopus, probably doing an 8-armed gesture or something.
What you need to do to find happiness in this crazy old forest is you need to set yourself more realistic goals. It's called Mr. Bear Lowers His Expectations.
Wow. You really have taken yourself to new depths. You really have taken yourself. So what do you want children to take away from this?
Oh,
What do you
fuck
want
it.
children to take away from this?
Oh, fuck.
What?
I said a more realistic worldview.
Jamboree?
It's Jeffrey. My name is Jeffrey Donington. My name is Jeffrey
How does it
Donington.
end? We need to know how it ends.
All the animals learn a thing or two about inevitable mediocrity.
And Mr. Bear settles down near to his parents' cave, stops trying to make his band happen, and he goes into bear telemarketing.
Becomes a bear maths teacher.
And we end on a big musical number. Oh, there's dancing. It's very repetitive, so it's catchy but not too challenging. Well, if you like, I could go and get my boombox.
I might be able to. Hang on. Can we get Angie back? I might be able to.
Why not? The more the merrier, as they say at orgies. The more the merrier, as they say at orgies.
Right, I'll just fill then, shall I? Coming up in a moment, it's the world premiere that nobody saw coming. Or wanted. At all. Or wanted. I can only apologise in advance for what we're all about to endure.
You turn this shitting thing up.
Well, there's all sorts of creatures. Down on Dangly Doodle Farm. Like wise old Mr. Otter, with way too many arms. There's Mr. Pig and Mr. Cat. They're always in good mood. But that's 'cause they don't know they'll soon be sliced up into food. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your hopes go to turn into despair. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your dreams go to die. Mr. Raccoon wants to go to the moon. He'll end up as a bus driver soon. Mr. Porcupine thinks he'll read the news at 9. He'll end up as a janitor who stinks of turpentine. Mr. Tiny Mouse thought he'd own a massive house. Ended up in a bedsit where he can't control the louse. Mr. Horse thought he'd go into professional sports. Now he's an alcoholic and he's on his third divorce. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the place your life becomes an endless questionnaire. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your hopes go to die. Lower your expectations. Maybe you could get a job in telecommunications. No matter how you try, you'll never reach the League of Nations. The best you'll get is middle rank in trading operations. So lower your expectations. You'll never win an Oscar, so there's no congratulations. The future that is coming will not meet specifications, and no amount of visualizations will save you from your own deterioration. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's a tramp who thought he'd be a multi-millionaire. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where self-esteem goes to die. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the disappointment that is waiting everywhere. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your schemes go to die. That's where your dreams go to die. That's where dreams go to die.
Tomorrow morning. That's it from us for tonight. Many thanks to all our guests. I look forward to seeing them all again. Eventually. But before we go, Alex, I wondered if I might have a word. You see, I've had my eye on you, friend, and I've got to say I'm not liking what I'm seeing. You keep letting me down, chum. Playing it safe. Making the dull, boring choices, failing to assert yourself. No one likes a pushover, Alex. You know that. And frankly, chum, you're acting like a bit of a wimp. Alex, will you give away your passport so my super rich sibling can abandon us all? Sure. Here it is. Pathetic. Can I have the money we need for food so I can go around the continent on a jolly? Sure, Susie. We can always eat your grandma when we run out of food. Wouldn't it have felt better to take charge? Aren't you tempted to just lay down the law? You know what's hot, Alex? Other than me, obviously. Confidence, power, control. We're all drawn to it like rats to the piper. Don't you care where your son goes at night? You will when you find out. Look, far be it from me to try and lead you down the dark pathway, although sort of is my whole raison d'etre. But imagine, just for a moment, that none of this was real. It was just some stupid game where you could just do it all over again if it all went wrong. Imagine if Sam and Charlie and Susie were just characters. Wow. Think of all the fun you could have. Just being bad, you know. For the hell of it. My name's Megan Wolf. Have an evil night. Ugh. Jen, I'm just gonna go smoker. Okay, can you get Bozeman on the phone?
Are our
Babe,
future.
I don't care if this is a dream,
Advance knows
a bad
this,
trip, or a
and we're
shock-induced
making
coma.
sure
I
we
did
get
not
to
sign
them
up
while
to be
they're
dressed
young.
like a slag, doshing out wristies for a 20.
The Advanced Go-Getters Initiative
I'm
will
a
put your
professional
children
news anchor.
in the picture
Not a fucking bogan.
with subtle
enough that he makes me
brainwashing
feel
delivered in
I'm
potentially
convinced he's
hazardous
accent the whole
environments.
time. I mean, look at this.
And when they talk about
My
what's
skirt's
happening
so
at
short you
home,
can see my joke.
we'll be listening and taking notes.
Why don't you wake
Your
up?
children's
Wake
ripped
up,
off
Alex! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
to a life of